The Grizzco Slosher is what we could call an illegally modified sloshing machine. It has 4 shots, 1, 2, 3, 4 exactly. They each deal 360 damage on a direct, 150 damage on indirect. But indirect, I mean, I know it is used, but we'll get to it. The direct 360 means just barely does not kill a Quahog. That means for other weapons, as if, like the Grizzco Slosher, like a group of Quahogs once, they can like just tap them and well, because smaller lessers you will be killing with directs, and directs are the same. Before we get into more of that damage stuff, let's actually look at the paint, which is interesting. Like paint right under your feet, you can pretty much instantly paint a flipper zone with it, which is nice. If it comes to other paint, you see it's rather slow, and for wall paint as well. Like it's slow, and it doesn't have good coverage, but it gets you up if you need to get up. You do need to like wait a second to actually get up. It can of course not exactly contest paint, but it's around. However, it's decent enough at killing them. And then the fact that it has only 4 shots, like you really do not wanna spend too many of them exclusively for painting. Fluffer Zone is the one exception, and you can do that easily enough. For everything else, ideally you wanna like enemies do well you're painted. Then painting with the splits as well, you know. No ink efficiency, it's really not great on this. Alright, let's get more into HP bosses then. 100 to 600 HP targets, always 2 shots. Bristler can be a 2-shot as well if for at least one of the 2 shots it is opened, because then in this game double damage gets applied to the piercing. I don't know what exactly the explanation is, but that's how it works anyway. Is that 1 shot if you hit the bomb, or 2 shot if you hit the body at aim pretty much. Similar there, used to be a 3-shot in the old game, but I think that actually, no, that is different. That has nothing to do with piercing, it just has less HP in this game. Used to have 1000, now only has, I believe, 500. Many things kill is dead when it's not attacking. That's mostly. Right, and big shots are actually really not recommended to deal with for this, because you do need all 4 shots to kill one. Just 360 times 3, it's not quite 3000. 1200. But still, this is quite some burst damage that is dealt, so whenever there are like moths near you, you can still, especially in a golden rotation, consider just shooting with your main weapon and hoping someone shoots at it too, and then hit of it that way instead of using a bomb, which has 3 shots. Is of course more than, like, say, 2 something. Right, statics. So fish sticks, I've already mentioned, you can kill them in 2 shots easily. Let's pretend that the fish stick is like circling around the steelhead, then you do like this. That will hit all of life rays, most likely. And if it doesn't, there will only be like 1 left or something, which I could get rid of easily. Usually you'll get it, just fine. Then stingers, you can 1-shot, but it's typically not consistent. Like it depends on the angle and how the arc of the shot goes and stuff. There's a different points to aim at. If you are pretty much at max range, then you aim at the middle of the stinger. Then the shot is falling down slowly enough that the pods from above will fall right into that projectile and you get the 1-shot. If you are a bit closer than max range, you wanna aim upwards so that the shot is like falling down on it from above, and then you can also one-shot it like that. And finally, you can also be up really close to it, and what you do then is aim up really high. Wow, the shot just appeared. Oh yeah, through the ceiling so that can happen here. But yeah, what would happen in a game is the shot would be falling down close to where you stand pretty much, and of course, the stinger. Again, just get all of the parts. Alternatively, if you are really not sure whether you're gonna get the one shot or not, you can just, from pretty much wherever, like aim at the middle and fire 2 shots, and that should usually kill it. More often than not. Right, oh yeah, and flyfish, of course, flyfish, really important. There's one reason for why this is often called sheet bucket as well. The sheet bucket or the red sheet bucket, any nice names like that. You one-shot flyfish with a direct. You do, unlike the Slosher, you do not aim at the lids, but instead at the pilot. The annoying part here is the pilot is not only a small fry, but also almost as small as a small fry. The direct. You see the direct hitbox is exactly the crosshair here. Ah, him. Was my safe mode here. Moving me just off when I pressed R. The directed is visible. But if you get it at one shot, and if you get directs, I believe that should also kill. Even the indirects due to the shot being arced, it can be missed, especially when the flyfish is moving. If you wanna be really fancy, of course you can snipe the flyfish while it's moving too. Make sure that you actually can spare the ink and are not wasting everything and then feeling miserable when you them. Alright. Before I get into Night Waves, another thing about playing this. Since this weapon only has 4 shots, the way you ideally wanna play is that you always wanna have a safety shot left that you're not using, like really use only 3 shots, then refill. So 3 again, refill, and so on. Use that fast shot only when you like really need to get out of a situation and go somewhere else and stuff. Or when you are absolutely sure that you are safe, and of course get some deal with that as well. Yeah, don't overdo it. And if you are in wave 3 and have 2 specials left, then feel free to just use a special for ink refill, that is fine too. Being productive. Alright, talk about Night Waves. There is a say about Night Waves. First up, let's talk about gorillas. Something has changed in gorillas, which makes this thing even more broken than it was in the old game, and that is you're actually stunning the gorillas with one shot now if you hit them right in the middle. With a direct, that is due to how piercing and exposed hitboxes now direct. Similar effect as with Grizzlies. Then if you fire another shot at them, at a gorilla, it will deal so much damage it pretty much die very soon. I do not know what the exact number is. Basically fire 2 shots at a gorilla and it's most likely dead. Instead of just stunned. Of course makes hit gorillas a lot easier than it used to be, possibly. There are other things that will make it harder still. As always, respect your ink management here, and teammates of the Grizzco Slosher, deal with those small fries still. Yes, I know the indirects are like actually quite decent for dealing with small fries. But you know, the ink management and mobility and like the disadvantage state when it's attacked by some small fries, then they get really hard to hit and stuff, so yeah, no, let's just avoid that together. Yeah, that is how Gorillas works with this, and then next step is Mudmouse, another wave that this completely breaks. You want to aim right at the throat of the Mudmouse, which roughly the position and size of that chum here. You can hit that from any side of the Mudmouse due to the piercing properties of this weapon. You're right. I did actually, the bosses not quite mention that with the piercing this also goes right through eel walls, so eels are really easy to kill with this. Anyway, back to Mudmouse. You can hit them from any side as long as you know where the throat is. You get through the letters that it spawns. The golden ones that spawn cohogs. If you're there fast enough, you will delete the cohogs at the same time at the Mudmouse. Leave them alive only, very weak and stuff. Really nice. Yeah, what that means for other weapons, just clear lasers that might escape this thing because it cannot be everywhere at the same time or everywhere fast enough. And throw eggs and stuff. But the only bombs that you ever wanna be throwing in a Mudmouse is like the very first one. Or maybe a killer whale at some really far annoying Mudmouse that you actually do not want your Grizzco Slosher to go to. You have the whale yourself with it, then same thing. Spawning grounds, so the far right grade comes to mind. Like grades really. Like those Mudmouse are just awful to get to for this. For that as well. That is getting used. Yeah, but yeah, anyway, just like Explosion, this thing completely breaks Mudmouse. Well, it's probably not quite as nice and easy Slosher for it, because the management is tighter. The effect is the same still. With that we get to the other Night Waves, so they are not quite as nice and broken. But can still be used for sure. Let's first talk about Rush. You can filter with Rush, and the way you're gonna do this with directs primarily. Think of this line of the chum and the small phrase here as the Rush. Aim like to the side. The effect that has is that you are also indirecting the goldies ideally. Because you know the problem, especially on golden rotations here would be if you have like multiple weapons that are like hitting far into the stream, you might kill goldies early by accident. Like say multiple Grizzco Sloshers for example, or like a charger as well. So try to do indirects on the Rush. However, also look at weapon comps. If like the filtering is so good in the comp already that your own filtering with the Grizzco Slosher is not actually needed, then by all means stay back and direct the goldies as they're coming in, but only when they're coming in. And not like very far away and stuff, obviously, because you're not filtering anymore. Yeah, I'm probably sounding like a broken record now. Like I've said this with many Grizzco weapons in Rush, but always look at your comps and adapt your roll based on that. And then what other net do we have? Okay, Seeking. Let's talk about Seeking. The main job here would be to clear lasers with this. But you can also contribute decently enough to Goldie DPS. Like, when the Goldie is sitting on the Gusher, what you can do is fire 3 or 4 shots straight at it really in quick succession. Probably more like 3. Then refill, and then as it drops down, fire 3 again, refill, and so on. If you like position yourself right, what you could also do with it is, while you're hitting the Goldie, also hit the lasers that are spawning right under and behind it. But also be really beneficial to everything. Of course, the main part of the Goldie DPSing, the other weapons of the team will have to do. Anyway, this is nice enough contribution. And don't bother with this seeking at all, because you need all your ink to actually use. The damage per tank is really low. Usually. Right, and then we have Mothership as well. The thing with Grizzco weapons here is many of them are actually not great for Mothership. They might be forced into situations where you have to nukes, which is annoying because the shots are traveling so slowly you can miss easily. If that's not an issue because you actually do have Grizzco chargers or Grizzco stringers, then really for the most part just collect X and fire shots only to clear out lessers, and that is definitely the best thing you can do in that wave. Yeah, that is pretty much what is about that there. That I believe, yeah, right, Tornado is was same thing. You can hit lessers nicely with this. However, if you have like Grizzco Blaster or Grizzco Splatoon in the comp, then if you have a Grizzco Blaster but not a Grizzco Splatoon, then you can get like at Cohawks that make the work for Blaster a lot easier. But you don't. You can really just focus X if you have any of that. Yeah, if you actually don't happen to have any of these, or like Grizzco chargers only, then definitely consider doing SS there. Anyway, also always pay attention to what teammates are doing. Not exactly fully explored what's optimal there with what comp. It's really, we're just assuming we have a sword, and then it's pretty much self-explanatory because the sword is the best for lessers. So yeah, for the most part, just focus X. And that, oh yeah, right, that second box, since it has big shot HP and you likely need to paint together as well, do not open the second box as Grizzco Slosher, just don't let someone else do it. Or if you do it then with a spell or something, that is fine too. But yeah, those are the night waves, and that is everything. This weapon itself, in Splatoon 2, I've said that that was just the best weapon in the game due to being the most game breaking and stuff. This game, I have to say, I'm actually a little bit low on it because into the ink efficiency and the mobility and that stuff, being attacked a lot more by paint-centric enemies and bigger quantities and stuff. Of course, it's still like very good and completely game-breaking in some cases, but it definitely has real weaknesses now that do not be considered. Yeah, it does make it possibly more fun to play if you enjoy some challenges. Right, that is the Grizzco Slosher.